Hello, Providence College hockey fans. Welcome to This Week in Friars Hockey. I'm Nick Rojas. What an exciting weekend it was at the Dunkin' Donuts Center in the NCAA East Regional. The Friars went down 3-0 in the first period of Game 1 to Minnesota State, only to come back and win that one going away before defeating Cornell to advance to the program's 5th Frozen Four appearance. On today's jam-packed episode of the show, we are joined by Scott Conway, Ben Mirageas, and Coach Leaman. All that more coming up on This Week in Friars Hockey. Let's start the show. Joined now for the first time in quite a while with the head coach of the men's ice hockey team, Coach Leaman. Coach, you're going back to a Frozen Four. How does this feeling compare to the first time you went to the Frozen Four?
I think we're enjoying it a little bit more. I think it's a very tough point to get to. I think I appreciate it a little bit more the second time, having been to the tournament a number of times since we won the national championship. But it's tough to win those two games. Very proud of the team and excited.
Yeah, we're all excited here. And just before we go ahead to the Frozen Four, I want to quickly look back at this past weekend. Saturday, you appear to score first in that game against Minnesota State. Then all of a sudden it's 3-0, and you're a little bit on your heels a little bit. So what did that comeback say about your team's resiliency and the leadership and the captains you have in the room to settle the team after the first period?
Well, I think it said everything about them. We've been behind in a lot of games down the stretch here, giving up the first goal. So the whole BC series, we were behind after the first period. So, for us, it wasn't uncharted territory, but it was something where the guys knew, we got to get to work and dig ourselves out of a hole. So, fortunately, the guys stayed positive. Vamel's goal was a really big goal, because that gave us an added boost to say, hey, it's a new game. Now it's a one-goal game, and we kind of rolled, I think, after Vamel scored that goal.
And now I've heard you say in interviews about how the expectations for the program is to go to the NCAA tournament. How do you balance those expectations with the day-to-day grind of a regular season?
Well, we just try to stay in the day-to-day. That's the big thing. We know what our program's about now, and we know what our expectations are. But if you play game 10 of the season for the NCAA tournament, you're never going to get there. It's just you got to stay in the day-to-day. Just focus on getting better. Focus on your team getting better and improving throughout the year. Because if they improve, if they keep improving, then they have a chance to get there.
And now looking at your coaching staff, it's just got a bunch of people with championship experience. Coach Ron Rolston with Lake Superior State. You have obviously Coach Mayotte, Teresa, Josh Monk. How does that benefit your team having people in the room who have gone through that grind of winning a championship?
Well, it just, the experience factor, at this time of year, the kids are pretty plugged in. They're listening to everything you're saying. And just, for us, there's no nervousness, there's no tension, there's nothing new, in Buffalo that's going to surprise me. I know there's going to be, all types of media at our practices, all types of distractions. And we could try to stay out in front of that stuff, with our guys and just make sure they know what's coming and try to help them through all that.
And finally, this week I've heard you talk about how teams benefit from battling adversity throughout the season. I wondered what you meant by that, and what were some moments in the season where your team has benefited from that adversity?
Well, I think that the getting swept by UMass early when we played so well, and we carried the play in both those games. That was tough for us to swallow. We had to rebuild ourselves at that point. I think. There's a number of games where we played really well, but we didn't win the scoreboard. And, and just having to understand that, okay, there's little things we got to keep improving. And the guys they kept battling and working to improve these things. And, we just needed to grow too. We had some young guys in some key spots, and we probably had to grow with those guys a little bit. And then we get to the second half, and hockey's a lot harder in the second half than the first half. And, all those young guys had to figure that out. Then at the end, they started to figure it out. So I just think it's, staying with it, battling that adversity, and I think the guys have done. They're getting rewarded for it. They're a tougher team now than they were in November, and that's because of the adversity they faced.
Well, Coach, I really appreciate you joining us every week to do This Week in Friars Hockey, and best of luck in the Frozen Four.
Thanks, Nick.
I'm joined now by sophomore defenseman Ben Mirageas. Ben, last year you're minutes away from a Frozen Four appearance. How did that loss motivate you in the offseason and throughout this season?
Yeah, well, I know that was definitely a heartbreaking moment last year, losing with a minute to go versus Notre Dame. And I think that, it kind of hurt all the guys in the locker room. So, everybody just kind of went home over the summer and, just kept that in the back of their head to push ourselves to the next level.
And now it's your second year here in Friartown. You've played every game since you've arrived here in Providence. How has that helped your confidence grow from year one to year two?
Yeah, well, I think, I've put a lot of my trust in Coach Leaman. I think he's, if not the best college coach in hockey. He's done a terrific job, I think. Playing every game, it's a big accomplishment for my first and second year. But I just got to keep improving every day, giving it 120% every day in practice.
Now, was there a certain point in this season where you felt like, I think this team has really got that kind of it factor to get to a Frozen Four?
Well, I think after Christmas, the team really comes together and, we get a couple days off at home and then we come back to school and, put our minds on the ice, our bodies on the ice. What happened last year too, we went on an 8-game winning streak and as well as this year. So I think that was really the turning point of our season where, we all kind of gelled and went to the next level.
And now you're going to a Frozen Four in Buffalo, New York, chicken wing capital of the world. If it's the off season, you're having a plate of chicken wings. What are your top 3 flavors you're getting?
I got a spicy tongue, so I got to go with the habanero.
Whoa.
Yeah. I like the ranch a lot. Just classic, mild buffalo.
Yeah. Spicy guy, huh?
Yeah.
Good for you. Yeah, sometimes I can't really quite handle it, so good for you. Well, Ben, appreciate it so much for coming on and good luck in the Frozen Four.
Thank you very much.
I'm joined now by senior forward Scott Conway. Scott, it's great to have you on. Each season you've been with Providence, you've gone to the NCAA tournament, you've made it further and further. How have those appearances prepared you for this run, and what's it like to finally be going to the Frozen Four?
I think getting a feel of losing a couple games, especially the important ones, at the end of the season where it ruins your career, ruins your year. I think that that definitely hurts you, and knowing that feeling, you don't want it to happen this year. So we're doing everything in our power to not be on the losing end this year, and 2 more wins away, and we have a chip.
Now, Scott, the expectation each season here in Providence is to go to the NCAA tournament. But was there a point in the season where you felt like the team had the it factor to make it to the Frozen Four?
Me personally, I think UMass Lowell, when our first game there, I think we beat them 6 or 5-1 or nothing. I just thought we all grew as a team at that point, and we went on a streak. And when our back was against the wall, we stepped up and we went on a little streak there, maybe 5 or 6 games, and that definitely helped us, and we obviously grew from that, and we're expecting to grow even more.
Yeah, and you definitely have gotten better as the season has gone along, which you always like to see. Now we're heading to Buffalo, New York, chicken wing capital of the world. It's the off season. You're getting wings. What are your top 3 flavors you're getting?
Honey barbecue, a little bit of bite, maybe a buffalo, maybe like a Parmesan or something like that on there too.
Those are the classics. Now, curveball at you here. Are you more towards the mild or more towards the spicy?
I like that barbecue flavor, so whether it's a honey barbecue or just a normal barbecue, I really like that, the sweeter.
Yeah, the sweet stuff is good stuff. Well, congrats again going to the Frozen Four and good luck.
Thank you.
For a preview of the semifinal matchup with Minnesota Duluth, we send it over to Mike DeMars. Mike?
Thanks, Nick. On Thursday, April 11th, the Friars will skate against the reigning national champions, the University of Minnesota Duluth Bulldogs, at the Frozen Four in Buffalo, New York. Minnesota Duluth is led by forward Parker Mackay. The senior from Alberta, Canada, leads the team with 30 total points while notching 15 goals and 15 assists in 38 games. Mackay, the captain of the Bulldogs, has already scored 3 goals in the NCAA tournament. In net for the Bulldogs will be junior Hunter Shepard. The Minnesota native recorded a 1.80 goals against average and a save percentage of .920. Shepard's 6 shutouts place him 3rd in the nation, 2 shutouts behind the Friars' Hayden Hockey. Minnesota Duluth is loaded with experience as they return 18 players from last year's title-winning team, with 7 of those players having played in the past 2 national championship games. The Friars will try to prevent the Bulldogs from being the first back-to-back NCAA hockey champions since the University of Denver repeated in 2005. If the Friars can get past Minnesota Duluth on Thursday, then they will be playing for the national championship on Saturday, April 13th against either the University of Denver or the Hockey East regular season champions, UMass Minutemen. That's your weekend preview. Sending it back to you, Nick.
Thank you, Mike. That'll just about wrap up today's edition of the show. A big thank you to Coach Lehmann, Ben, and Scott for joining the program. The Friars and the Bulldogs drop the puck Thursday, April 11th at 5 p.m. from KeyBank Center in Buffalo, New York. You can watch the game on ESPN2 or listen to it on News Radio 104.7 FM. Follow along the team's journey in the Frozen Four by heading to the Friars Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram accounts, as well as YouTube and Friars.com. Before we go, I'd just like to say a big thank you to Mike Billings, Mike DeMars, and Dave Hughes for all their help in each episode of This Week in Friars Hockey, and a big thank you to you as well for watching each episode. So for the final time this season, thank you so much, and have a great day.